Welcome to Aunty K's, your favorite radical queer indigenous auntie, bringing you tarot every day. Hello and welcome to Aunty K's Tarot. So I have decided to join the tarot tag created by Musings by Mascha, and that is the top tarot trumps. And in this tarot tag, Mascha has asked us to choose our 5 favorite of each trump going throughout the year about every 2 weeks. I've decided I'm probably going to show 2 to 3 at a time every 4 or 5 weeks. That's what I'm going to do here. The other parameter I've set for myself as a deck creator, I have my own decks, including an RWS and a Marseille. So I've decided I can only include a trump from my deck if it was one of my favorite trumps of that deck. So obviously I like the trumps I designed, but to make it into this, to be fair, so it's not in there for every single one, it has to have been one of my favorite trumps that I created in that deck. So that's the parameters for that. All right, let's get into it and see what I chose for the Fool. So this is Fortune Queens, and the Fool card and the World card in this deck are nice and shiny. Maybe I should turn a light on and make that even better. All right, how's that? Oh yeah. So I do enjoy the shiny. I do. And this is just so fun. I thought this outfit on RuPaul's Drag Race was really fun. And the shark, that's just so fun. As how are we going to recreate this? Which outfit best recreates it? And I thought this was done really well. There's like a rubber chicken here. And so I enjoy this card. It's one of my favorites because it is a lot of fun. One of the things I like about the Marseille Fool is that it's more akin to jester. And there's something about a jester to me that's more akin to a sacred clown. I can see a lot of similarities between them and who they were, although in widely different cultures and with different purposes. But I can see the connections to a contrary and what role a contrary serves in their society, regardless of how it's recognized by that society. So I do like the Marseille Fool. And in the cat tarot, it's a cat like pipering off these mice, and that just has like a special sense of joy to it that I really enjoy. And so of that Sacred Fool, I quite like these 2. So in Desert Illuminations, the Fool is the clown, and they've depicted a sacred clown, a contrary. And so I really enjoy that. And in the tarot archetypal, we have this very cheeky jester, and I quite enjoy his cheekiness, and I really enjoy him for that. Desert Illuminations, so some of the decks I'm using less to do this, I pulled the trumps all up to the front and said, this will make it easier doing this. It will be a pain when I take the deck out to use it, but it is what it is. And I was just like, oh, I love this Major. I love that Major. There's 2 decks I felt like that for. And that's going to be really hard to be like, you're not showing up in every single one. And so to satisfy myself there, I just want to show you these great Majors. I really wanted to choose her, but I had others. Same with this one. I like how different this Empress depiction. I'm gonna have to choose her next time. Anyway, they're just really beautiful Majors. I love it all the way through. And I don't know how I'm not going to choose it every time. So I just had to do that. I had to do that. So those are 2 of my favorite fools also. And then from my own Marseille, the Marseille Prendre V, I like that I made my fool old. Yes, they can represent a naivete, but there's lots of like older folks in this world who embrace a naivete at a certain age of their journey. And the whole outcast, gonna go do my own thing. I just love that aspect of the Marseille Fool. And we had this overly fancy dog either chasing her out or escaping the people who groom her this way. Who knows? So I quite like it. And when a friend pointed out that the telephone pole in the background of this scene at a laneway, which I liked because it had a gate, then it made it look like there's a joint coming out of her hand. I almost changed it, and then I was like, no, they could totally be smoking a blunt. Why not? I had a moment where I thought I wasn't recording and panicked, and but I was. Whew. So yeah. I was like, they can totally be having that. That adds to it if that's how you see it. I enjoyed putting these beaded earrings in. I had a lot of fun creating this particular fool. And so yeah, those are my fools. So for the magicians, I noticed a theme in the magicians I was gravitating towards. So let's discuss them. So we have the alchemist from the Sufi Tarot and the magician from the Fifth World Tarot. These are like the same depiction in different eras to me. And I love that about it. I like a magician who is an alchemist. There's other things I like about a magician. And I do see science and magic as the same thing. Science just lost part of itself along the way. Didn't recognize that its roots were so similar. Anyway, I really like these 2 depictions for this. I love the next world depiction of the magician. We still know that spirituality is important to her. We see that study is important to her. And we see her finding a connection to life, despite the concrete and steel around her, inclusive of it, I would even say. And she's kind of like a bridge between these two, don't you think? Both of mine here. In the Landback Tarot, the Magician is an elder. And she feels like an older version of both of these folks, really. And there's a similarity, I think, in how I see them here. I see this card as somebody older and wise and who's gained lots of knowledge and tricks. And, you know, has more behind them than we think. And there's this garden back here. There's a little peak of herbs in the kitchen back there, you know, and this is a grandmother that I know, and we've got a little medicine bundle and coffee going on here, and here we got like all the tools of the trade, and both cases the table, you know, you're on the other side of it. They decide if you go on through. So anyway, these are things I liked about all these magicians. And there's something different and similar between all of them. But it's when we get into the high priestess, that we really see I have like a similarity in what I like there. Okay, so I didn't keep it to 5. This is my honorable mention because it's different than the others. But I love the abstract art of this. You've got like the crown and this eyeball, and you have an egg, and you got like a pillar and curtain thing going on there. You have this book. It's abstract and weird and beautiful, and this deck does this a lot, and I love it. This is the tarot archetype again. All right, all of these are pretty similar. Yes, including this last one. I think I see me in each of these. You know, this one reminds me of moon ceremonies down by the water. And they've definitely been conducted by some pretty amazing fat aunties and grandmothers. Some of my favorites would fit this category of body. And so when I got this deck and saw this, even though all these women in my life who've conducted moon ceremony, who I've learned under, who are my favorites that I learned under, they're all indigenous and not black, but they all have her body. And so she reminds me of all of them. And there's 3 in particular I have in mind. And this looks so much like this one point in Algonquin Park. It's not, but it looks very similar, where we held many moon ceremonies, and the point was very rocky, but there was an area that dipped down by the trees, although they were cedar trees, and got, there was a flat spot we could sit and be a bit closer to the water. So we have the same energy going on, right? And the High Priestess in my Landback Tarot, I almost chose, but then it's going to be at 7. She also has a bowl of water. She's sitting by a rock. So these just, they carry that same energy. I love that this one is sitting in the moon. So this is the Next World Tarot, the Fifth Spirit Tarot, the Tarot of Life. This is a Major's only deck, which is the Sapphic Enchantress Tarot, and this is the Great Lakes Tarot. I love that this one has cards. Probably, you know, look the most like this one 25 years ago. I am pretty light skinned, so yeah, probably look the most like them 25 years ago, although I would have had an astrology chart in my hand. And I love all the representation here with the pomegranates and the herbs, and you've got the knives, this locked box, the tattoos, that it says tarot, without a T. I like it all. So, this is like, to myself and other, aunties and grandmothers and sisters and siblings I have loved and adored, including those, who are made of rocks and trees and water. So that is that. So that is the other deck where I was like, how do I not choose every single one of these majors? They're all gorgeous. I really like this for the Hierophant. So that's the Devil. Yeah, this is a gorgeous deck. Not an easy one to read with, but a gorgeous one to have and to learn and to go through the keywords, and just amazing in that way. Okay, so that is my entry for top tarot trumps. 0, the Fool, 1, the Magician, and 2, the High Priestess.